What's up, fellow Cowboy fans? Welcome to OT Star Talk. It's your boy, Coach Lee. Man, is it time to panic? I don't know.
Yeah! Here we go!
Gonna get right into it, man. We had a little bit of a letdown again last night. Same old as always. Cowboys, they got, I don't even know where to start at. They got outscored 31-13 to go to 0-2 on the off season, preseason. From total yards, they got outgained 401 to 173. Ravens had 5.1 yards a carry. The Cowboys 3.7. This is the one that really stands out a lot. Total first downs, 27 for the Ravens, 7 for Dallas. Third down efficiency, 53 for the Ravens, 53%, 18% for Dallas. And, of course, they both went 100% in the red zone. But let's just key in on the Cowboys' analysis perspective. From an offensive standpoint, they continue to struggle. The offense had another rough outing, especially in the first half where they only had 31 total yards. Joe Milton struggled again. He went 9 for 18 for 122 yards in a pick, and the running game was vastly ineffective again, averaging a paltry 2.6 yards per carry. Some defensive highlights that we saw, despite the overall team performance, some individual defenders flashed. They stood out. One that we thought was for dead, linebacker Damon Clark. He had a strong game with 7 tackles, including 2 tackles for loss. Cornerback Andrew Booth, who we traded for last year, he had a pick 6. And then we had some young defenders who also flashed. Donovan Ezraku, the second-round pick from BC, Zion Childress, the undrafted free agent, Jay Taoa, and Shamar James. Now, the offensive line, even though almost all the starters were out last night, except for Booker. So they had a bunch of backups in there. But with the backup offensive line, including Tyler Booker, they performed well in pass protection. They gave Milton ample time in the pocket, for much of the game. He just didn't do too much with it. He continued to struggle on it. Now, let's go to Joe. Joe. My guy, Joe. Man, we need you, brother. We need you to step your game up. Now, the Cowboys are currently experiencing, some concerns regarding the stability of their position and the actual readiness and effectiveness of the backup quarterback position. Who's going to be there behind that? Joe Milton is currently QB2. He was acquired in all season from the Patriots. Everybody knows. He's been the favorite to be the backup during training camp and preseason. However, his performance in the first 2 preseason games definitely has raised some concerns among fans and analysts. And the consistency and ability to lead the offense effectively in a real game scenario, Milton is considered on a developmental prospect. QB2 needs somebody to come in who can carry it. If he's there for a couple of games, like Cooper Rush did in the past, he's able to, to get some dubs for us. Or if he's for a standing period of time, somebody to give at least some hope, entertainment value. Now, he does know while he is a developmental prospect, he has a massive arm. He's got a very strong arm, but it needs further development as far as decision-making, consistency, and touch passes. Now, Will Greer, he's the veteran journeyman that's there right now. I think they referred to him during the week as he's always going to be ready on the sideline with a cigarette in his mouth. Not a ringing endorsement for somebody you want to be your quarterback to if you have some depth issues. Now, he does provide a more experienced presence. He's been with the team and understands the system. However, he's limited in regular season NFL experience. He's been described as safe but uninspiring during the preseason. And he's failing to significantly impress the coaching staff. The absence of Cooper Rush is definitely in effect. Now, head coach Brian Schottenheimer, he has expressed a lack of panic about the situation itself. He actually cited that there was a need for the entire offense to improve. They put it on everybody. And for Milton to stack plays. He's also indicated that the team believes that they can win games if Prescott were to miss time. I don't know about that one, Chief. But we know to be determined. He is the head coach. He is the expert. Now, however, some analysts, they say it's a big issue at the backup quarterback position. It's just Milton's recent struggles or a area that causes legitimate concern. They point to Milton's raw talent. Maybe with time he'll get better. Maybe that the fact he doesn't have a lot of playing experience at the NFL level, um, and he can only gain that. We all got spoiled with Tony. We all got spoiled with that. Sometimes you do have to develop a quarterback. Now, some analysts also think the Cowboys might need to go out and explore the waiver wire. After this third preseason game, we're gonna have the cuts and things like that, or they might have to trade for more season backup during the regular, before the regular season begins. Particularly if his performance doesn't, if Milton's performance doesn't improve by the final game. This is my theory. Is it time to march for Arch? Is Arch Manning going to be an option for us? If that goes down, and he's down for a considerable amount of time, and we got to rely on the backup, have Milton or Greer, we might win 3, maybe 4 games, so we might be in a position for that top spot. Now, I know Arch is currently still at UT, my Longhorns. While there's speculation that his potential entry into the draft to various teams, which includes the Cowboys, but I think last week his father, former New Orleans Saint, Archie Manning, came out and said Arch is not expected to enter he and his family rather, are not expected Arch to enter the 2026 NFL draft. Could that be persuade if the Cowboys somehow end up with the top pick? Now, keep in mind, Archie Manning, the grandfather, he has expressed desire in the past for Arch to play for the Cowboys. That's personal sentiment. Does not necessarily reflect Arch's future plans. But you got to think, like they did with Eli, they kind of picked the destination that he went to, where where history repeats itself in that aspect of it. We shall see. Now, got an injury update, a major injury update. It's kind of bittersweet. Jonathan Mingo had a great over-the-shoulder catch last night, 41 yards from Milton. Now, based on recent reports, Mingo is feared to have suffered a posterior cruciate ligament, PCL, in his right knee. It did incur last night over the back of the left-hand end zone on an incomplete pass. Mingo landed awkwardly, trying to catch the ball, and then he was ruled out for the rest of the game after that. Now he is scheduled to undergo MRI today. We have not heard any results about it as of yet to determine the severity of the injury. Earliest reports suggest he could miss time. I've heard from depending on severity of it, but there's 3 different grades. It could be from a couple of days to a couple of weeks to a couple of months. We had to find out what the extent of the time he might miss, and it was going to depend, obviously, on the MRI results. Now, preseason finale. Got a preseason finale coming up. The Falcons are in town. Bijan Robinson and team. We're going to see how they do. We're going to probably see, again, significant playing time from Joe Milton, some of the guys fighting for jobs. Which go back to the previous subject of Mingo being out. That bittersweet portion that I mentioned. I know a lot of people have liked the showing of the undrafted free agent Trayshawn Holden, the wide receiver, and they were trying to think, are they going to have to trade Jalen Tolbert to try to keep Holden? Because Holden's not going to make the waiver wires. He's not going to go to the practice squad. Somebody's going to pick him up. So do you really want to lose out on that potential? So with Mingo, depending on where he's at, it might make the decision a little bit easier. I think for Mingo, they still got to put him on a 53-man roster in anticipation for him coming back during the season. If he goes on IR before the 53-man, he's out for the entire season. So they still got some decisions to make, but hopefully they can maneuver, let Mingo heal up, Holden can come in, do what he needs to do to be determined with Tolbert. We're going to see what happens. Jerry, get us back to where we need to be, man. Really appreciate you. But get Michael signed, get him up in there so we can go back to them days.
I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so having said that, I want me some glory hole.
Want us some glory hole, Jerry. Appreciate you. Tap in with you.